Hey art friends, I'm here with you today with 3 reasons to use a limited palette in your painting. Now, if you want some help learning how to mix colors, I want you to check the link below. I have a workshop for you that you're going to be able to take, and it's going to teach you everything that you need to know about mixing colors, how to understand which colors to mix together, and know what the results are going to be. So first of all, let's define what a limited palette is. A limited palette means that you're not going to use just any tube of paint. You're not going to have tons and tons of colors spread out. You are choosing a few colors to begin with and sticking with that. Now, I have to admit, sometimes I've seen where artists say they're using a limited palette and there are like 20 colors on the palette, and I'm like, a limited palette of 20 colors? Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. When I'm talking about a limited palette, I'm thinking 3 colors and then maybe also add black and white, and that's it. Maybe 2 colors, maybe even just 1 color in black and white. But I personally like 2 or 3 colors plus black and white, limited palette, keep it simple. So now that we've defined what a limited palette is, why would we want to limit the colors on our palette? Why not just put everything and have a lot of fun? I'm going to tell you why. Reason number 1, if you're a beginner, limiting your palette is going to help you move further faster. When you only have a few colors there, you have less choices, so mixing colors is less complicated. It also means that you're going to have an opportunity to get to know a few pigments intimately and really understand how they work and really understand the strength and the character of each color before you start learning about other colors. Understanding what's going to happen with 2 colors mixed together is just so incredibly challenging and complicated. So when you're doing that with 20 different colors, like, it's going to take a really long time to know what's going to happen. But if you have 2 colors and black and white, before long, you're going to know these colors really, really well, totally understand what's going to happen when you mix them together in various ways in proportion. And then as you add other colors, it's going to be easier to get to know them because you already have a basis which to compare them to. Awesome reason number 2 to use a limited palette. It makes it a lot simpler to remix the same color. So this was actually brought up to me by a student of mine recently, which she mentioned, and I never thought about it before, how since she was using a limited palette in her project, it just wasn't too difficult to arrive back at a color that she had used in a previous session. Whereas other times she maybe had a lot of colors out and was thinking like, oh, I don't remember which blue I used for that, and I don't remember which red I used for that. Here it was pretty simple because there were only 2 options, red or yellow plus black and white. So it just wasn't too hard to figure it out. And it was therefore much easier for her to work on a layered painting over different sessions. And finally, good reason number 3 to use a limited palette. It creates a really beautiful sense of unity in your work. I've definitely seen this in my own work. I'm often using just an open palette with a whole bunch of colors spread out, and I use whatever I need to. But when I've done experiments with limited palette paintings, I find that since there are only a few colors in there and they're spread throughout everything feels like it belongs in the same world. The background feels related to the subject, and the subject feels related to the other subjects in there. So like if all the same colors are used on a portrait and the clothing and the background, it all just feels like it goes together and it looks really nice. You might think that this is going to mean that everything is going to look monochromatic, but that's not the case. Things can really look like they have a full color palette in the picture, but actually be a limited palette, which feels really unified. If you want to understand more about all this, go ahead and check the links below. I'm going to leave helpful videos and links to freebies that will help you understand color mixing and understand color theory better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.